Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and my client Josh is now vlogging again. I thought I would continue these vlogs. He wanted to start doing these back up. His training is a little different than it was before. He really was kind of bored with conjugate training, and we're trying to squeeze in as high a quality work as we can in short periods of time because his workouts need to be about 30-40 minutes, 3 times a week. Okay, so just like you guys have kind of seen with Amarit's stuff, Amarit's is very abbreviated. They're both fighters. Amarit's very busy business person's doing Thai boxing. Josh competes at a pretty high level in BJJ, and accordingly, they both just don't have a lot of recovery time, resources, things like that to deal with for training. So what we do with him, it's 3-day upper lower. We tend to do peak sets, top end sets, and then we do rep work. And a lot of this I'm only putting in some of the top end sets because we just simply don't have room for all of it. But so to give an idea of what we're doing, we tend to do one heavy set of bench, then we do a back off set of bench. All of them are pretty much 1 rep in reserve. We do almost AMRAPs on everything. And so again, you see bench. We do the same thing with overhead press, although we alternate workout to workout, overhead press, incline, stuff like that as necessary. Again, depending upon what he's doing on that day, but really a lot of overhead. And actually, I need to correct myself. I don't think he's doing incline at all. We're doing all bench and overhead. I got slightly confused with Amarit's vlog, so I apologize to you guys. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing a lot of rowing, a lot of pressing on the upper days. So again, it's heavy set of bench, then back off work, like 1 set of higher reps. We do a couple sets of rows, and we superset everything. We need his workouts in and out as quick as possible. So he ramps up, does a little warm up, does a heavy bench, does a set of barbell rows behind it. All right, very short break we go over, and then we do another lighter set, about 20% lighter, for higher reps. Okay, we go ahead and do much higher reps on that. Because again, these are AMRAPs, and he's getting, hopefully about 3 minutes between exercises. But everything is in supersetted. So it's between sets, not necessarily exercises. So we superset everything. All right, then he does overhead press, and then we superset that with inverted rows. So again, it's basically heavy bench, barbell row, lighter bench, barbell row. Then we come over heavy overhead press for a set, followed by inverted rows to, close to failure. Then we drop the weight down, do a lighter set of overhead press, then do another set of inverted rows. All right, afterwards, we do pullovers and then band press downs for his triceps. Again, why the bands for him? Again, combat sport athlete, his elbows get really beat up rolling because he rolls, I think he's back to 5 or 6 days a week to where he's doing BJJ and rolling. And again, keeping in mind, he is a competitor. He does do tournaments. He also had a little phase where he couldn't do any lifting for a few weeks. He got, some tournament injuries. So he had to back off from the lifting, but we've got him lifting again. And then, of course, after those pullovers, we then do band press downs. Again, good for his tendons, good for tricep lockout strength. Again, a good accessory for working with the overhead press and the benching. Also, because, again, his shoulders do get a little banged up with what he does. He does all of his pressing pretty close grip, including his benching. Again, we have to work around what he's doing as a combat athlete. Okay? So, again, we do what we have to do. All right, lower body days, we're doing straight up ass to grass high bar squats. Okay, at this point, it's just like, let's just get range of motion. We're not even worrying about box squats for him anymore. He's got plenty of speed strength, plenty of explosiveness, and he gets plenty of that trained in the ring. So I just need to get him stronger. And we have limited recovery to do it. So we come in, we do a set of squatting. We'll do a heavier set. Then we drop the weight down to a lighter set. All right, deadlifts, he comes in. I usually have him just do the one really good set. All right, we want one really good set of deadlifts out of him. And then we do a little bit of a back off set. So I'll have him drop down to 3 plates usually. He does 3 plates and he'll drop down to 2 plates. That's what I'm programming for now. And then afterwards, it's glute ham raises. Right, we do glute ham raises, we do goblet squats. These are then supersetted, by the way. So the goblet squats and the glute ham raises are done as a superset. Obviously, the squat and the bench are not. But keep in mind, we only do 2 sets of squats, then 2 sets of deadlifts. Right? Then we go right into these smaller movements. We superset a couple sets. Again, these are much higher reps. Again, goblet squats being high reps. Notice on all this stuff, we're trying to get some really long ranges of motion. Again, we always keep those glute ham raises in. We like a lot of this extra little body weight stuff, right? So we like the big movements like this with really long ranges of motion for him. We like a lot of body weight exercises if we can work them in, as he's able to do them. So like the inverted rows right now, glute ham raises, these things are good. Keep in mind a lot of these other movements move the body through space, right? All his other lower body stuff, we do move his body through space. Then in this case, keep in mind he is an athlete. He has to move his body through space. He has to fight. So that's what we're doing with most of this stuff. Now, before people say, well, shouldn't you have him do dips instead of benching? No, benching is great. Works great for him. Given his history of shoulder pathology, I don't necessarily want him doing dips. We just stick with a good old bench press. But I do want you guys to notice he benches close grip because of his shoulders. We don't use a big arch. Make him pause everything. We just try to get generally strong on the benching. And we repeat kind of the same thing for the other upper body days. So for each week it goes upper, lower, upper. Then the next week it goes lower, upper, lower. So the next vlog you'll see 2 lower body workouts for him. But again, his programming itself is not particularly complex. We're focused on gaining as much strength and hypertrophy as we can with a very, very short training window. A lot of supersets to keep his conditioning up. We get him in and get him back out of the gym. I mean, and it really is very, very little sets. Again, we're talking sometimes 10, 11 sets, and he's out, right? Maybe 10 sets on average. Between the lower might be a little more, upper might be a little more. So, but it's approximately 10 sets of workout. The majority of it's supersetting other than the barbell squats and the barbell deadlifts. Those are done as normal sets. Okay. Again, all about efficiency on this. Again, we try to make very, very good use of his training economy and training time. So if we can superset opposing muscle groups, we do. But as you guys can see, this other upper body workout looks just like the last. So I'll let you guys finish up watching this. And yeah, this is how I trained him as a pretty high level combat athlete, right? Combat sport athlete and fighter. This is what we do. Because again, keeping in mind, he doesn't have to get as jacked and as strong as possible. We just need to get him as strong and as jacked as possible within his limited training time and recovery, with strength and size being a secondary concern, behind his primary sport, which is, again, BJJ. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.